We need to talk about these new episodes of Maul Shadow Lord. Some of the scenes are some of the best things Disney Star Wars has ever animated. The other one was so dumb, I had to pause the show in the middle of it, walk to my kitchen, and just take a breather. We're gonna get into Devon sliding closer and closer to the dark side, Maul's vision quests, and the moment where I almost had a heart attack. Let's get into it. I'm Brandon, and welcome back to Screen Wars. Episode 7, Call to Oblivion, on paper is Devon's episode. The whole episode is structured around her making 3 choices. Every choice nudging her closer to the dark side. Choice 1, in the tunnel. She has a clean break. Maul is distracted. Riley is right there. They can literally just run away and escape. Instead, Maul gives her a line about being hunted and she stays. Choice number 2, when the Imperials drop in, she has another window to escape, and she doesn't. And choice number 3 is quieter, but I think the most influential. Back with her master, Daki suggests they should cool it, lay low, maybe negotiate. And Devon's face does the thing where you can tell she's already made the decision in her head that he's wrong. And Devon's arc in these 2 episodes is the best thing about it. Now the Inquisitor problem. We're right back to Disney fucking up again. A quick history check because this actually matters. For anybody who doesn't know, this is the same Inquisitor that Ahsoka Tano fights in Tales of the Jedi. And fights is a generous word. He basically walks up to her and she dodges and takes his lightsaber right from him and kills him in 2 seconds. And Marak, the first brother, is another Inquisitor that Ahsoka handles twice. So we cut to the Maul fight with the 2 Inquisitors. Maul, who should now literally be at the peak of his powers. He should be at the strongest point that he's been in a long time. Who in the Clone Wars series we watched pulled down a Star Destroyer with the Force. Who fought 3 Inquisitors at one time in Rebels when he was much older and much weaker. And Maul loses. And I know what people are going to say in the comments. Oh, he got cut. His leg was already injured. I don't care about that at all. He should be able to take 2 Inquisitors and cut in half. So basically, you're telling me that these 2 Inquisitors are a higher power level than Master Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi, who had a tougher time fighting Maul. And from my understanding of the Star Wars lore and how power levels of the Sith works, if you spend 7 or 8 years in pure hatred and pure revenge, you actually get more powerful in the dark side of the Force. So Maul should actually be more powerful than he was in the Phantom Menace. Yet he's losing to 2 Inquisitors. We're only a year after a Revenge of the Sith. So the Empire had time to train these 2 Inquisitors in a year, and they're already more powerful than Maul, to the point where they literally have him cornered and defeated. It's like Disney keeps doing this over and over again. They forget who they're writing, they forget the power levels of Jedi and Sith and everything. If Ahsoka can handle these 2 specific Inquisitors basically with no effort, are we saying that Ahsoka is way more powerful than Maul? Because in my opinion, Maul would actually be more powerful than Ahsoka would be. He was literally trained his entire life by the Emperor, as opposed to Ahsoka, who was, yes, Padawan to Anakin Skywalker, but for what, 4 or 5 years maximum? And they're at the same power level? The math doesn't match. If you're gonna have Maul lose a fight, which I'm okay with him losing a fight, but you have to do it in a better way. It can't just be, oh, his bionic leg is a little messed up, so he loses a lightsaber fight. It just doesn't make sense to me. Now, the positive aspects of this fight was it was really cool visually. 3 double-bladed lightsabers going at it in the dim light of the cave and the reflections of the waterfalls. This thing was visually awesome. Now, episode 8, we get a ton of Maul, and I love it. The episode opens up and you see that Maul escaped before the rocks could collapse him. And we got to see Maul use one of the moves I used to use in Battlefront 2 all the time with Darth Maul. So that was pretty cool. He ends up falling all the way back into the tunnels, and he drags himself through a wind tunnel. The dust debris in the air is forming force visions around him. Sidious arriving on Dathomir, a young Maul. There's a single shot where Maul falls face first into a puddle. As he gets up, he sees the reflection of his younger self, and the face is split half young, half old. And then you can see the rage take over, and then it's Maul fully. That did more character work in those 5 seconds than the entire Acolyte show. And I love the idea of flashbacks to Maul's childhood. I love the Force visions. I want to see more. I want to find out more about Maul. That's what I'm here for. But there's a slight problem with the vision sequence. In the original Plagueis novel, which is one of the best Star Wars books ever written, full stop, Sidious gets Maul as an infant baby. Maul's mother hands him over to Sidious because she's trying to protect Maul from Mother Talzin, and she senses that Palpatine will recognize that Maul was Force sensitive. The whole horror of Maul as a character is that he never had a family. He never knew anything other than Sidious. So Sidious wasn't just his master, he was the only parents that Maul ever knew. And in this episode, they just retcon that. So Maul is like a lot older. Old enough to remember his brother Savage. Old enough to remember that Savage was screaming when Sidious took him. And just like that, Maul gets turned into something else. He gets turned into Anakin or Rey or one of these other characters. Somebody who had a family that he remembered. A brother that he loved. A memory of a life before. Which in the novel is the exact opposite of what made Maul Maul. The whole thing was he was a tool. He was made by the Emperor. He had no before. Now, just like that, he's another orphan. There's like 4 other of them in this franchise already. And this is what I keep coming back to with Disney Star Wars. I want to give them compliments when I can. I want to give them credit when it's due. But they just keep stepping on this rich, deep lore that they have access to. Real quick on the rest of episode 8, because there's a lot of fun stuff in this episode that I actually enjoyed. I didn't hate it at all. The speeder chase was phenomenal. This was pure George Lucas DNA. The man cut his teeth on American graffiti. He loved hot rods, he loved chase scenes, and you can really feel it in this. The J-turn Devon pulls, Docky force flipping speeder bikes, and the music was on point the entire time. The whole sequence was just fun and I really enjoyed it. Two Boots then finally realizes that the Empire might not be what he originally thought it was. So he helps Riley escape from the police station. He pulls the old transferring a prisoner routine, which has been in Star Wars since the original. They narrowly escape the police station and they're going to meet up with Rena to get off the planet. Except for Rena has been compromised by the Empire and they're walking into a trap. The episode ends with Maul back in his penthouse from episode 1. And you find out that Dryden Voss, the leader of Crimson Dawn, wants an audience with Maul. Dryden Voss, who we saw in the Solo movie. And this is where we're going to see Maul not building Crimson Dawn from scratch, but actually just taking it over and absorbing it. So we actually just watched the true takeover of the Shadow Empire. Okay, last thing, and then I'm done. Clancy Brown is the voice of the 11th Brother. Clancy Brown is a all-time famous voice actor, and he also voices Savage Opress. So the theory that's being floated around is Savage is actually the 11th Brother reincarnated. In the Clone Wars TV show, we saw Savage get defeated by the Emperor right in front of Maul. So maybe the Emperor took Savage's body, reanimated it, and made him the 11th Brother. Or heck, maybe Marak, the first brother, could also be Savage. Different voice actor, but that could also be a thing. So to sum up episode 7 and 8, Devon's arc is cooking. The Crimson Dawn setup is exactly what we thought the show would be doing. And Maul losing that cave fight is the single biggest writing decision that I disagree with in the entire series so far. Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. If you thought that Maul should have been defeated, let me know. If you thought the Plagueis retcon was justified, I want to hear you in the comments down below. Thank you so much for listening this far in the video. If you did, drop a like, subscribe to the channel because we have a lot more videos coming your way. We're going to break down the final episodes when they come out. But until then, I'm Brandon, this is Screen Wars, and we'll see you in the next one.